Hey, this is Tony.
This is Paul coming at you from the Friends for Life podcast.
And we're a go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Friends for Life podcast. Thanks for tuning back in. Make sure to go down below and hit the subscribe button. Today, our special guest is Mike Hayes, who's an employee here at Friends for Life and has been a veteran in the social work and DD fields for 50 years. Mike tells some awesome stories from throughout his career, so let's dive right into it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Friends for Life podcast. We got Mr. Mike Hayes over here this morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm actually doing good.
That's good to hear, man. So, you are kind of the driving force but for some of our clients for creating music, you know, giving a sweet outlet. Music is my outlet. You see I got this guitar back here and stuff, and I'm also someone into recording and making music, so I think we have a lot we can relate to. So how did that start? Before we dive into the DD field and all that stuff, how did you get into making music?
Been making music about 50 some years.
Nice.
When you throw 50 on anything, that puts a whole different landscape of thought. Yeah, because you, I've even had the opportunity to watch you perform and some of your bandmates,
nice.
man. Like, so you're primarily a drummer, though, correct?
Started out as a drummer. Yeah, actually started out as an African percussionist in a African dance troupe.
Okay.
In the 70s at a place called the Creative Arts Workshop on Door and Forest, where the library parking lot is now.
Right.
There were a couple of gentlemen who decided to bring the arts into the community, Russ Taylor and Vernon Martin.
Okay.
They got a grant from the city to open a building that was all arts. Local artists from the community came in and taught the children in the neighborhood for free.
Nice.
There was a pottery class, there was an African dance class, there was a music class, there was poetry, there was all of these things going on in the 70s, right in the middle of the Black Panther thing and all of that going on Door Street. So I went from high school performing as a vocalist and singing to becoming a percussionist, and started doing plays, black plays at this place too. And like I'm saying, it was right in the neighborhood. We wrote a grant to get instruments for the local kids in the neighborhood, and after about 6 months, we had a band of children playing jazz music.
Nice.
From Coltrane, I'm talking about Duke Ellington and Count Basie and those types of songs. We had a bunch of kids in the neighborhood playing that stuff, man.
That's impressive.
Nice.
That's some hard stuff. That ain't child's play either.
No.
Oh, come on. And the big deal that I look at now, having lived through the rest of this time, if we'd had those art centers on a bunch more corners later on, we might not have had some of the stuff we had going on those same corners.
Right.
Because what happened was the community centers disappeared at about the same time the gangs rose up and the street violence and things happened at the same time. So there's a vacuum now of places for kids to go after school.
Well, it seems like the arts are kind of picking back up again. I know in downtown especially. I mean, they're really focusing on new outlets. I mean, they've got Toledo's starting up like the biggest mural in the world or something, or in the U.S. at least, on some of the silos we got downtown, and I feel like there's a revival of that going on today. Do you see that?
Look at what happened. Everybody got locked down. So what could you do? You could sit there and just watch TV for a year, or you could create.
Yep.
And
a lot of people just developed talents and developed other things that they didn't have before and started bringing those things out. That's kind of why the metamorphosis from me I started working with children. Like I said, I've been working as a social worker for 50-some years. I started
That's
working
50
with...
again.
Yeah, right?
well, next year I'll be 70, so...
Yeah, man.
Been around a little bit. And like I said, it almost became just a natural progression because to me, if we don't teach, I don't understand kind of what we're doing. I mean, that's me. That's my personal thing. If I've got a gift, if I share that gift, that makes my gift better, and it's like an appreciation of me having the gift. I'm not into, I'm not talking about religion. I'm just simply saying, if I've got something that's been given to me and I give it to the next person and they give it to somebody, that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. So what happened was by me starting working with adults, okay, and guys, I'm going to tell you something. I really, really have a problem with labels.
Yeah.
I was sitting here before I came here and I said, Mike, what is something that you really want to say to people? Do you realize that there is no such thing as a disability ever?
If you really think about it like that.
Because here's what's happening here. If I pay my bills on my cell phone and you pay your bills on a tablet, and you pay your bills on a laptop, are the bills getting paid?
Right.
That's not a disability because I use one way to do it and you use another way. So when a person with something going on with their sight uses their ears to hear, that's not a disability. You have enabled yourself to find another way to do it.
Yes. Preach, my brother, preach.
I'm simply saying, okay,
Yeah.
that's when we put that whole negative thing on, that means this is a person that has a problem who needs help with that problem. What if this is just a person that needs to simply find another way to get what needs to be done? That's not a bad thing. That's an excellent thing.
That's right. Yeah, it's the ability factor versus disability, and we've talked about this on so many occasions, and because we try to break the dynamic.
Yes.
And like Mike, you and I, man, you know me since I had the cornrows, the baggy pants, and he's
And
seen
about 7 phones.
Yeah,
seven. At least 7 phones.
he's seen my progression, and it's so cool because he's always been that mentor to me as well, because we've worked side by side and we've worked in situations where either one of us were a superior per se, but we've never looked at the abilities of somebody as being less because of how they did it. And that's a very good point. I'm glad you made that point, man.
And see, what that means then is that everything that you think people are limited, they're not at all. It's only our limitation as a perception to say you can't do something or you're going to have problems doing something. So that's kind of what happened with the music, guys. I've always done music. I just started making beats and doing production besides just live music. My son and my nephew brought me into this. They were like, Dad, especially the pandemic, Dad, you're sitting here. Why don't you try some of this computer stuff and, try to, work with production instead of just live stuff? And I did it. An example is that song that Z does.
Yeah.
That one song that Z did his rhyme over. That's something we've done here at our little Coyote Den studios.
Yeah.
But I'm doing like this. I'm teaching my grandkids. My grandson is 9. He's rapping and playing the drums at the same time.
There you go.
Okay? He's cutting out the whole thing, okay? He's literally sitting there playing a beat. Because you know what? He asked me, could he do it? And he's like, well, Granddad, what if I get a beat on the drums and I want to try to rap over it? Can I do that? And I'm like, what do you mean, can you do that? Do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing with our guys. That's the same exact thing, guys.
Yeah.
That's the same exact thing. When we go what you can't, that's the problem. We have to go what you can and what you will, because what you will winds up really being the deal.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's the strength that people have to have, in a sense. I go through this thing when I don't like comparing our clients to children or anything, but I think that again, in the respect of us of putting everybody in sort of the same category. As people, we need to not make so many excuses why we can't do something. You know, if I give someone a suggestion, how about you do this? Oh, I can't because of this, and this. I'm like, come on. I've seen somebody with way worse issues accomplish so much more. So it's your limitations that put it. And if you're in the sound of my voice, like that goes for anything that you want to do. You know, you don't put limitations on yourself. Grow and be the best that you can be at whatever you want to be.
When I was young, we had a young man named Ed, and I'm just no last name or anything, but Ed literally had glasses on that the glasses were this thick. They literally looked like the bottom of the old Coca-Cola bottle. Okay? And we laugh and joke and make fun, but guess what? Ed hung with the group. Nobody made Ed feel anything other than just one of us. Okay, when we played ball, he missed a bunch of shots. But he just played ball. When we rode our bikes. Yeah, he might run into something if we didn't keep him, but we kept him corralled enough. So that's what I'm saying. When you accept somebody as being just themselves and some label, they got to be this, they got to be that. That goes with that, guys. That's why I started this drum circle thing. This drum circle thing I'm calling Heartbeats of Life. What does every living creature on this planet have?
A heartbeat. There it is. And honestly, like, ooh, if you make it even creepier from there, because they say that there's rhythm inside of the plants, and how the world like vibrates.
Well, no. Vibrations is actually the key to life. That sound. Yeah, that's everything around us.
And to think about our field of work, dude, there's been so many clients that I have introduced to, either some smooth jazz or, rain sounds. And there were so many quote unquote behaviors or, instabilities in their lives that those small things made a big difference. And all it did was take some time to try something new, so.
And I think that's can be therapeutic for a lot of people, whether it doesn't have to be music. I mean, it can be anything. I think when people find their whatever, it doesn't have to be a passion, just something they enjoy. Like music is a great example. Some people are naturally just compelled to make music, and you don't have to be a music theory major and you can just sit down with a piano or a guitar or anything and just create. And I think when people say, "Oh, I do this to stay out of trouble," it's kind of true, because when you get sucked into something like that, you're less time out, worrying if you do have a disability or you do have problems or you do have, a lot of people with, let's say, like addictions, when they get sobered up, they'll become really into art or exercise or whatever.
All of that time that you were spent doing the other thing gets put into the new thing.
The new thing, and the energy.
That's what happens when you try to stop doing something and don't have something to replace that time.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys something. I had Zafir at 14 years old.
That's
working through CSB. Okay? Zafir had been through a lot of things as a young child. Okay? Different forms of this and that. I'm not. I can't go into it, but some really serious things as a child. But at 14, he was quiet, in the corner, and shy. When then those next couple of years, the changes that happened with him and his family, it's a total blessing that young man is alive, because there was a point in time when he was homeless, walking the streets in a blizzard, trying to get to a Taco Bell after going through something with his family to get to the Wi-Fi, and almost froze. So to have this young man sitting someplace on a microphone, And guys, this ain't I tell people, this ain't a testament to me. All I try to do is direct. All I try to do is go, maybe this will help. It's him. Okay? And that's what we're saying. If he can do that, anybody can. See, that's the beauty of this art and this stuff. It shows you don't have to be Michael Jackson or Prince.
Yeah.
Just like you don't have to be Michael Jordan or any of those people. Like you just said, whatever brings you joy and makes you feel good, that's going to be better for all of us. You know, and that's all we try to do, guys. That's, to me, that's simply what we try to do.
Yeah, and I'm glad you just went there with it because, you know, in the power and strength of Z, I love the fact that he's using his platform and his past as testimony to help other people. Dude, I take my hat off to you because it's a lot of the work that you did, not only in the past, but currently. And that's why I'm so blessed to have you here at Friends for Life to help with our youth and our young, especially our young African-American gentlemen that we have in there, because we have a lot of individuals that we serve like that. And again, this goes kind of back to one of our midweek minis talking about the police brutality and all of this stuff. And these young men they're drawn to a lifestyle that is judging them. Or they get judged because they're out there in this community and no one knows that they're going through different struggles themselves and they haven't completely gained a grip on those struggles, and it puts them in a very unsafe and scary situation. And we have lost clients through gun violence and assault and stuff like that because people aren't taking into account the mental anguish or some of the lack that they can comprehend some things. But I really think here, especially at Friends for Life, but there's other agencies and groups that are doing this, we got a good dynamic. We came together and we figured out a way to create a structure that it's actually helping. And people are noticing that it's helping, and we're getting these long-term outcomes that are going to be better for each individual, including ourselves. I mean, we benefit when people do right.
Well, hey, they don't give out appreciation awards. I'm just an old guy, man. They don't give them out for nothing, Tony.
Well, thank you, man.
You've done the work, man, and that's what it comes down to. A lot of people, this is a job. It's something they do to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'll be very honest. All these years I've done it, if money was the only thing, it wasn't quite what I did it for.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's just the thing. To me, in this, you have to care about people.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole thing. And like I said, it shows because you're absolutely right. Having these guys someplace on a microphone, then out in the quote-unquote real world,
Yeah.
trying to be 20-some-year-olds with all of their friends being in gangs, all of their cousins, nephews, uncles, and everybody else either in the street, on their way to jail, or on their way out of jail. And I'm not exaggerating. You know, I know, man.
Not at all.
You know, like I know. The path is already set there for you to wind up in that penitentiary cell with a number. Because that's money being made.
It's a system, man, that is broken, but thank God we're here to help fix and facilitate some of it.
And like we're saying, take somebody that is already going through the regular stuff, and then you add a special type of situation. They don't have a clue at all, okay? These other young guys are trying to be in a gang and trying to watch the videos and live that life. But when you got somebody whose perception is altered...
Yeah. that creates a whole different prospect.
So I really feel good, guys, that these guys will be someplace on a microphone instead of in these streets. Because to me, if it does nothing but that.
Now, tell me, because you started a company that you were talking about, and you're reaching out to people in the DD field, and because you've been doing like a lot of the concerts and some of the rec jams and things like that for different agencies. What made you want to go studio route? I mean, I guess to transform it the way that you have. Like, what was the key? Like, you know what? I need to do this.
Again, like you said, I've always done the DJing, the playing in the band things, and I've incorporated that into working with kids and adults. That's just been a thing I do. The actual studio thing came from these guys. I want to say, man, half of the youth in the inner city, if not 3/4 of the youth in their city, all want to rap and play basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, it is an epidemic in terms of if you stop anybody on the street and say, play me something on your phone, they got 40 songs on there with them rapping the beats on their phone. Mm-hmm. So that has become the norm. Mm-hmm. So when I said, if I'm going to reach out to these guys, they don't want to learn how to play drums. They don't want to sing, okay? They don't want to be part of some dance team. What do they want to do?
Right. You gotta...
They want to impress their friends the same way the other guys want to impress their friends. And like we know, having talent in one area has nothing to do with anything else that you got going on or not. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, you guys can listen and see that even somebody with quote unquote, I'm not saying that word, okay, can do anything. Mm-hmm. Sing, dance, rap, none of that makes any difference, guys. So once that little connection became, I said, okay, this is how I can try to move some of the other stuff in there and talk a little bit about consciousness, about how to act around the police, about what you're going to go through as being a young black male in any city in America.
Yeah.
Okay? That allows me the entryway. Mm-hmm. So once I found out they were I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing the studio stuff, so that's what we do. It's like the studio and the music is like the lure.
Yeah. Well, there's
and once they come in, then you have that ability then to go, well, what about this? Because see, here's the thing. A lot of the young men that we service aren't what you would call, and I don't like that word regular or typical. That's only used for advertisement. But they aren't what you would call the regular consumer, individual, client, or whatever, because their concept of themselves.
That is a good point. Very good point.
Okay, is not handicapped. Mm-hmm. It's not disabled. It's not any of those labels. Mm-hmm. I've got a young man, we'll, get around to whatever, but one of the things that he goes through is when I work with him, I'm not his staff. I'm his uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize how crazy they would go if they had to walk into their home and somebody told you, like, right then and there, now you are not able to do this, and this person is here to help you, and you do everything that they say.
Oh, I'd freak out.
Dude, I know that I'm not right in the head for a lot of things, and
we gave you a microphone.
Exactly.
On a regular basis.
So I mean, I'm out here able to spew all of this stuff to the world, and so, dude, I get that point, and it gives me like chills to think about it in that aspect, because a lot of people don't.
See, here's the thing. Think about it, Tony. Think about what we all went through when we were 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25. Would we have had a guy sitting on our couch while we did whatever it is that we were trying to do with our friends and our boys and all of that stuff? That's why. That's when it became apparent to me. These services are different.
Yeah.
Having someone help them clean their house and take care of their physical needs isn't something they have to really have help with. That's their decision. But again, to have somebody sit there with them. We had one instance where we had a young man moved into a place, he had 3 baby mamas.
No.
Not guys. If that ain't a recipe for disaster, I don't know what is. The idea, and look, and all I'm trying to say to myself is, do I want to be the staff sitting there when all 3 of them show up with the babies and they mamas?
Oh my goodness.
That sounds like a bad time.
And I'm saying, so that part of my thing was, well, okay, if I'm supposed to be getting a little bit older and get some knowledge, the knowledge is supposed to tell you, hey, you see this coming.
This is a guaranteed issue.
This is not going to go good, okay? So that's what made me think about it and say, well, maybe the services they need are different. So having someone more as a mentor in terms of a friend, you know what I'm saying, that's going to help them, do appointments, and that type of stuff, whatever, versus doing the regular thing of sitting in their place with them. That's when that became obvious. And like I said, the music just wound up being a tool to allow me to do it, guys.
Well, there you go.
I kind of want to take a step back to the point you made a little bit ago about, how the music is just kind of an entryway. I see a lot because I'm actively like working in the music industry and like outside of here, the band I'm in, we're on like a major label and all this stuff, and so I've just sucked into that world all the time. And I think a lot of the thing that a lot of people, because it's the same, everybody wants to be in a rock band, a heavy metal band, or a rapper. Every other person I know wants that as a career, but as someone who's actively does it. The thing I hear all the time from everyone, I'm on that grind. But I think that word it's just a word at this point, because the grind is not making the music. That's the fun and easy part.
Yeah.
That's the cool, like sitting in the studio with the boys, having a good time, right, cranking out music. That's fun.
Yes.
A lot of the actual grind with the music industry is the marketing, the networking, and I think that's a lot of thing that a lot of the guys that I know personally, they get jealous because I say, hey, I did this, and this is the key. You can't tell anybody anything because man, I'm the best there is. Like, then why aren't you on a label? Why aren't you, And I think, do you run into that a lot with people? I mean, they talk about the grind, but they don't. Like, I think teaching is important with the work that comes outside of that, the actual industry work, because it's a real job still. You still have to learn how to promote, market, not pretend to be a rock star and treat everybody like crap. It's the exact opposite of that in reality.
See, I watched my son, Mike Hayes, and his cousin have an actual record label here in Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay? Where they put out songs. They had artists, male and female, that sang R&B, some that rapped and did all that stuff. Here's the thing that I watched, though. They spent 90% of their time trying to teach them how to be an artist.
Yep.
Okay.
That's very important.
The music sounded great, but one of the things that I tried to get them to understand is, you guys seem like you might be as successful selling music and producing music as dealing with people, because the whole thing of people. Remember, you guys, the whole music industry was A&R guys.
Yeah.
That's who ran the music industry. Those are the people that found the talent. Those are the people that sat up all night in the hotel room trying to get these chicks out of there and the needle out their arm and the stuff out of their head. And all
Nothing's changed.
Here, drink this coffee. Hurry up. You got to be on stage.
I always say they don't sign you because they like your music. They sign you because they're hoping to make money off of you.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with if you're good or not.
And anything that gets in the way of that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Including your attitude, your behavior, and all of that stuff. So yeah, that is a big part of the thing of, it is actually a job and a profession.
Yes.
It's like anything else. If you're going to be successful as being an artist means, like you say, that your material gets out there. that you're able to take care of yourself or feed yourself or whatever you're trying to do, at the end of the day, it's how much work you're going to put into that. Because guess what? There's 1 million people that can sing and dance and play.
Yeah, who learned that the tough way? David Ruffin, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
At the top of his career, I was singing every song he made in Robinson Junior High School. And like you said, one day he decided that something else became more important, and they replaced him, and it was like he was never there.
That's the reality.
Okay, so yeah, there's a bunch of people that want to talk the talk, but walking the walk ain't easy, man. Because like I said, it's that time when nothing else is going right. Your friends have turned against you. Everybody turned against you. But when you're still hustling your stuff, at the end of the day, you're still hustling your band, your music or whatever. That's it, man. That's it.
It's really funny because if anybody checks this out that is works with you or in the music industry, the second you get a little bit of fame under your belt, everyone does the opposite of what you think, and they flip the script, man. Oh, he doesn't deserve that. Oh, he's lucky. Just like with our podcast, this is the fun part, what we're doing right now. They don't see the 10, 12-hour days of editing and promoting and going on social media, and that's the grind
People
part.
saying that they'll get back to you and they don't. And,
That's
or
just normal.
They'll even pop on and just say, you know what, this isn't what I thought. A little shade there.
Well, I do have to say something. I've talked to some people that do videos. In fact, I have someone close to me that has done major stuff. Your podcast came on, and they said that's one of the clearest things they've seen on television.
Well, that's a compliment.
Literally, the TV brightened up, and the detail became amazing.
Heck yeah.
Well, that's thanks to Tony.
Yeah, look, man, you know how I am.
He lets me spend his money.
Yeah, all of it. So if y'all see me wearing the same clothes, I had to give something up.
No more Versace for Tony.
Look, right? No more Gucci, gang, Gucci. This is we're on music.
Oh man,
these new artists.
Do you have any really moments, either with your career or the career of people you've worked with, that are really, really highlights for you? Because I know music's a very personal thing, and it's really kind of like something that takes a lot of effort and work, but you're really proud of. Is there any stories that you have that are really like, man, this is one of my favorite points in time?
Our band opened for Russell Freeman and his group in Columbus, Ohio. And there was some mix-up of the equipment. And
Classic.
we wound up, we were the opening band for them, okay? I'm sorry, there were some other bands came on before us, okay? But by the time we got on stage, the drum set was in kind of like in shambles, and things really weren't going right, so our set was okay. Yeah, it was Russell Freeman and the Rippingtons, a jazz, smooth jazz group. We got to Toledo. We opened up for them. We got on stage and played so tough that halfway into our last song, their stage manager came up and looked at the sound man and said, "Cut them off."
You showing them up?
Cut them off. And listen, when he did that, we could see the look on the sound man's face was like, no, they're jamming. I'm not cutting them off. You could see him go, if you don't stop them, we're not coming out.
Dang. That is...
So that was a feather in our cap that day.
Wow.
Man, yeah, and like he let us go about another 5 minutes, and then he cut us. But we'll never forget that, man.
Yeah,
Did he shoot you up the old...
Oh, the whole thing. No, the sound people came over and got all our stuff, got all our information, and we got some gigs in Dayton and Columbus.
Heck yeah.
From that.
That's
There
the way
you
to
go.
do it.
Okay, from that. That's when somebody's going to cut our shine. Mm-hmm. Oh, guys, it's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You do the work and put in the work. It's coming. It might not seem like it's coming. Mm-hmm. And like I said, at first we got angry about that.
Yeah.
And then we look back on it now and said, oh, that was a testament. That was a testament to what you were doing.
Yeah, how
Got to flip that negative to the positive.
That's so funny because in what we do, I look at the people who collaborate with me. I am a strict let's fight the same hill together.
Yeah.
Why should we take different sides of the hill? We're climbing the same hill, we're climbing the same mountain, let's do it together. But there's so many people who they're too worried about the financial structure of how things are supposed to work that they don't even give it an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it's really sad because we can help so many more people in the masses in this field of work if we all work together a little more. I mean, who knows how many more people they could have reached, or that you could have collaborated and created a album together or whatever.
Yeah, that gets in the way too much because people don't want to give up their piece of the pie.
Yeah.
I see it all the time. I mean, it's so funny because the band that I'm in, we have reached out to others on the label like, hey, do you want to collaborate? We're all about the same mindset because that helps everyone. Then we're associated, we become friends because we're collaborating. It just makes it better for everyone. I don't see why people are always just so fighting. It's always like, no, mine, like Gollum over from Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had a cough in there.
Or like those crazy pelicans, mine.
Yeah.
Mine. Everything's mine. Okay, that's you guys. I'm serious, but let's be honest. That's what we're dealing with here. Mm-hmm. Okay, in a sense, because again, I keep coming back to this heart thing, fellas. Look at animals. Could you imagine a dog being mad at another dog because its fur is a different color? Let me explain to you about dogs and animals. You know what's important? Food, procreation.
Yeah.
That's why they walk up to you and smell you behind to see if you're a male or female, because that's their instinct is telling them. Mm-hmm. Procreation, continuing your race, continuing your species.
Yep.
Okay? Food to eat. Important stuff. All that other stuff, So the idea that, like I said, we're going to get mad at anyone because they're different is totally nuts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying there's no logic for that. There's nothing, and like you're saying, the more the better. The more diverse, the better. It's like a soup. You want to add spices. You want to add some of this. You want to add some of that. You don't just have potatoes and water. That's not soup.
Get your boiled potatoes and water. It's so crazy that you mentioned the animals in there because I always tell my family that that's what we need to do. We need to look at the animal kingdom because us as human beings, I think we have created this mindset that we are superior in a way and that we're not deep down inside just animals, on the planet. Maybe we're the top of the food chain because of our intelligence, but there are just some things that are natural for animals and / humans to do. And if we looked at that, I think we would understand life a whole lot better.
Well, it's kind of like, how do you tell someone that is living in their environment and getting along with nature on a daily basis that they're uncivilized? How do you walk up to somebody who's getting along with the creatures, the rivers, the forest, the whole entire thing, and everything's flourishing, and you walk up and tell them that you're a savage?
That's almost like, like Tarzan or Mowgli. If you think of it like that, like people tried to tell Tarzan he was wrong. Mowgli, they were wrong. That's deep.
I'm trying to find this right now. I just finished this book yesterday, and it's funny because it's exactly about what you were just saying. It's called Call of the American Wild by Guy Grieve, and he was it's your classic back to nature story, kind of what you're talking about in a way. He was from Scotland, and he was doing the corporate America gig like I used to do, and he's like, I can't handle it. And he's like, where can I go to just take a year and be away from everything. And he flew to Alaska, and he got somebody to agree to let him use their land. I mean, you're talking Alaska's like half the size of the U.S., just in the middle of nowhere. And he basically he lives out there for a year, goes through all these trials and tribulations, and he said, I've never been more scared of anything in the woods than other people. He said the grizzly bears that could tear my head off didn't bother me. The moose could have kicked me and killed me and broken my rib cage. He said, I know that that's what they want, but with people, you never know. He's like, they walk into the woods with a gun, they could be hunting, or they could say, hey, this dude, free ride, baby.
Yeah.
Throw him in the river.
I want to eat your thigh.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's on the same note. It's always funny. Every time we have a guest in here, they bring something up. I'm like, just read something about that.
Hey, look, keep reading. That's what we like. Well, hey, Mike, guess what time it is? Uh-oh. Rapid fire.
All right.
All right. If you are familiar with our podcast at all, Rapid Fire is a list of 3 questions that I give. We have changed the format to be Would You Rather. And I got some interesting interesting ones for you, especially with the 4th of July coming up. Okay. And shout outs to, the government for making Juneteenth an actual holiday.
Why are we here today?
Because I'm not a federal government.
Oh, okay, cool. Never mind.
But hey, funny fun fact. I got my GED during Juneteenth.
Nice.
On Juneteenth. It's like it's on the like during Juneteenth. Like, dude, you're not that old. But I thought that was pretty interesting. But okay, first one. Would you rather streak a crowd on the 4th of July or release a bottle rocket out your butt? My kids.
That's not even a question. Streaking, I'm naked, dude.
You gotta go. You gotta do it.
No, big sign, fire behind, big X to it. Okay.
Hey, I ain't mad at it.
Do you let your kids make these questions?
Man, they beg me. They say, "Dad, ask something about a butt." So I'm gonna think that if I keep doing it, they'll.
Wondering.
They'll get annoyed with it. All right. Would you rather eat a pot of chitlins or a cow's tongue? But one big thing: no hot sauce. Now, if anybody knows about chitlins in my culture, they drown it in hot sauce. And honestly, man, Frank's Red Hot is like our go-to to make anything that's nasty taste good.
Well, if you have to just think about the body part, would I rather eat a tongue or an intestine? Sure, tongue.
Tongue, thank you.
I'm right with you, man.
There you go.
I would definitely do the tongue as well.
I've had tongue tacos in Texas, and they're pretty good, actually.
I was gonna say, like, I hear that it's like not bad. You just have to like boil and tenderize.
It's just the mental part of it.
Let me tell you the story.
Oh boy.
Going into my friend's house, and up in Michigan, Detroit. Go in his kitchen, big pot on the stove, boiling. Okay, he's like, "Hey man, you like some cow tongue?" I'm like, "What is cow tongue? I never had. I mean, I know they got tongues. I didn't know we ate them. You know, I'm like, when did that start or whatever?" So I see the pot boiling. He says, "I'll make you a sandwich." He comes back and makes me a sandwich, and it tastes exactly like what it is, which is roast beef.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's roast beef. So he put lettuce and tomato and everything on the sandwich. And I looked over in the pot and saw this enormous tongue in there boiling. And I'm going, this can't be that.
Mm-hmm. It's a
Because
mental.
it tastes like a roast beef sandwich. He sliced it and it's roast beef.
Just like our
It's just
beef.
the fact that it's a tongue.
Yep.
That's all the whole thing was. It's roast beef.
Yeah.
The intestines thing, though, man, that gets me.
Oh, dude.
I'd try it probably, but I don't.
I've tried it every year when I was younger just to see, because my thing were the 3 C's: chocolate, cheese, and chitlins. Like, I couldn't do those. But as I got older, the chocolate and the cheese part, they're different, because I can do some milk chocolate, cheese. I like mozzarella cheese and provolone. It was American cheese that I couldn't stand, and sharp cheddar was too much for me. All right, last one before we get too far off. Okay. Would you rather lay on a bed of nails or have paper cuts between your toes?
I know that.
Yeah. Oh. There's a trick to one of them, though.
Oh.
I already know what I'd pick.
Yeah.
Easy.
Here's the thing. If you lay correctly on the bed of nails, you won't get punctured.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, that paper cut image in my head.
That's
is
going to
dude.
hurt. That's going to hurt bad, and you probably need a change of underwear with the paper cut. You're probably going to need some help
Dude.
with some deep ends or something, because, guys, that's going to hurt bad. But, the yogis do that.
Keep going.
Yeah, dude, I swear, when paper cuts happen, they create this intense shockwave through your body that you don't know what to do. You start, oh man, let me rinse it off, or should I put some ice on it? What should I do? What should I do?
And a bunch of them?
Oh, dude, all between the toes.
No. Like I said, they say, now I've never done it, but they say it's equal weight distribution.
Yeah,
That allows the yogis to sit on those things, and it doesn't, because if you think about it, if you made one area heavier or pressed down on one area, that would one thing. But if they all were like that, I think I think I try to better nails.
I ain't mad at it. Well, there we go. Nice rapid fire. And kids, you saw I asked about the butt. Oh man. So, Mike, what do you you're looking good. Like you said, you're about to be 70, my guy. And I want to know, what's your routine like? Like when you wake up in the morning, is there any kind of fountain of youth that you go to, or
Water, and I'm going to say it one more time. Water.
there you go.
The planet is mostly what?
Water, yeah.
Our bodies are mostly what?
Water.
All that other stuff. Now, I do, orange juice and cranberry juices and stuff, but I'm going to be very honest with you guys. What's done it for me is eating more vegetables, more fruit, drinking a ton of water, less processed stuff, less fast food, and I get on a bike for a half an hour on this day, and then I walk for about an hour the next day. Then I'll take a day off or something. But half of the people that I think that are in the hospitals, if they did a half an hour of any type of walking, drank more water, and stopped eating a bunch of stuff, they could probably get out of that hospital, guys.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. And that's a sad thing to me, because to me, our health system is as screwed up as our judicial system.
Yeah.
100% on that.
And my problem is, I'm afraid it's the same. Well,
We don't want to go down that rabbit hole. We'll be here for another 2 hours.
Right.
But Mike, we're going to wrap it up here real quick because we're running low on some juice. So
juices.
I don't know if you have any way, if you even want people to get a hold of you to learn more about your studio stuff, but if you got any pages or anything like that, let us know, and then we'll wrap it up here.
I'm on Instagram as Mike Hayes, DJ Mike's Mix.
Okay.
And then on YouTube as Michael Hayes, Michael L. Hayes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for sharing all your awesome information with us. You got a lot going on, man. So we appreciate everything you do, and hope maybe we'll get you back again someday, because we covered quite a bit here today.
Yeah,
but
we
I
did,
feel like
man.
you got a lot more in you.
Heck yeah. Man, come on, dude. Look at his age. No disrespect, but he's got a lot to give.
You got time for one little thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They talk about school. In school, you get the lesson and then you get the test. Mm-hmm. In life, you get the test and then you get the lesson. And if you don't pass the test, it comes back.
Ooh,
That's deep.
real deep. That we might just have to put that on one of our inspirational.
quotes,
Yeah. Well, thank you again, my friend. It's always a pleasure, and hopefully we get you back on real soon.
Love to do it, fellas.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this episode of the Friends for Life podcast here on YouTube. If you can, help us out. Go down below. Hit that subscribe button. Also, Friends for Life currently is hiring. So if you're interested in working here, head over to friendsforliferc.com and make sure you head over to our employment page and fill out our employment form, and we'll get back with you. I want to take a minute to thank Mike for coming on, sharing his stories and a career in the social work and D&D fields, and just all the awesome work that he does with music and working with clients and empowering people. So thank you, Mike, for doing that. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.